Do you like wrestling? Do you ever watch wrestling?
No. Nope.
And The Rock said, whoa, 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 whoa.
What's up, gang? Welcome to Watch Wrestling with Mike Wellman, the podcast that breaks down the biggest stories in and out of the ring. I am your host. My name is Mike Wellman. Thank you for hitting that play button. Thank you for checking out the show. We appreciate you here as always. On this episode, we are going to talk about the Forbidden Door card, matches getting added to this year's Forbidden Door show. Moxley, Naito, Tony Storm, Mina Shirakawa. What else? Mercedes versus Stephanie Vacker. Swerve versus Will Ospreay. Who could forget that? So we're going to talk about all of the Forbidden Door matchups that have been announced thus far. We're also going to talk about Ricochet. Ricocheting off of a car window on Raw last night, taking an ambulance ride. Probably the end of Ricochet in WWE, so we'll talk about whether or not Ricochet is really leaving WWE. And we're going to talk about NXT Battleground just a little bit here. We watched the Battleground show, folks. We're not ready to do a full-on review of an NXT show, but we're getting there. So we're going to talk about the Trick Williams, Ethan Page match, the NXT Underground match with Shayna Baszler and Lola Vice, and Jordynne Grace versus Roxanne Perez. And we got Clash at the Castle coming up this weekend, so we're just going to ask and answer the question, will Drew McIntyre's broken dreams finally come true at the castle? There's not really a castle. Anyways, joining me, as always, the inimitable, the abominable, the notorious wrestling fan, Kris. What's up, Kris?
What's up, Mike? Good to be here. And I was getting a little mad at you for being impatient with me.
You're getting mad at me for being impatient. Yes, we're also going to talk about the latest Uncle Howdy clues. Thank you, wrestling fan Kris. How could we forget about Uncle Howdy?
That's what I'm here for.
The purpose, the reason why we all get out of bed in the morning, folks. Uncle Howdy. More clues. And yes, Uncle Howdy is getting mad at us for getting impatient with him. So we're going to talk about all that on this episode. Watch Wrestling with Mike Wellman. This is episode 80. If you can believe it, folks. 80 episodes of Watch Wrestling with Mike Wellman. As I said, the podcast that breaks down the biggest stories in and out of the ring. That's what we're here to do. Right, Kris?
Correct.
All right. So before we get into the show, before we go any farther, that's right. We need you to be kind, like, subscribe, and share. Watch Wrestling with Mike Wellman. You already know where to find the podcast. Facebook, Watch Wrestling Pod. Instagram, Watch Wrestling Podcast. X, we are at W Wrestling Pod, folks. Find the podcast, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We also have a Patreon if you so choose to support the podcast. But yes, you do not want to miss these fire tweets, fire X posts, Instagram reels. We got some more coming up here. We're going to be at the Luau. And then also probably at the return of Pro Wrestling Grind. So follow us on social media, follow the podcast, like, subscribe, and share. And we look forward to having zero problems. Big fella. All right. So we got a lot to talk about on this episode, don't we? Let's start with this Ricochet news. Ricochet apparently leaving WWE. I mean, he left Raw in an ambulance last night, so I think we got our answer about is Ricochet leaving WWE. But yes, PW Insider, I believe, was the first to report that Ricochet was not renewing his contract with WWE. He informed them that he was leaving, and all the rumors swirling around were that this past Monday's Raw was going to be the last time we saw Ricochet getting written off television. Then in the, what was it, Ilya Dragunov and Braun Breaker match, Ricochet comes out, saves the day. I'm thinking, he's not going anywhere. Is he, Kris?
That's what I thought when I saw him come out there. And I was like, all right, Triple H's guy staying.
Yep. Ricochet, still in the fold. And then see him brawling. Oh boy, brawling with Braun in the back. This is where I knew. Bye Ricochet. So I think I tweeted out from our @W Wrestling Pod X account. I posted that tonight on Raw, Dewey Cox is going to come out and cut Ricochet in half with a machete. Figured, how can they kill Ricochet?
It was almost that. It was Braun Strowman through a windshield.
Jeez. He went through that windshield. Yep. So they ended up doing a power bomb onto the windshield and hood of a car. Real glass. Crimea River.
It's almost like the way that they got Powerhouse Hobbs off TV in AEW. Triple H. God, fix your own stuff.
Braun, why are you doing this indie shit on national television? Okay? No. And then, of course, they come back from commercial, and Ricochet's getting loaded up into that ambulance, and we lose our ring announcer on Raw. Ricochet's fiance, I guess, maybe. They're not
I think so,
engaged.
yeah.
They are, and I just made them engaged if they're not. Samantha Irvin goes in the ambulance with him. Nice touch.
Great touch. Yeah, that was a very good. Yeah.
She just leaves with Ricochet. So, yeah, that about does it for Ricochet in WWE. So, here's what I think about Ricochet leaving WWE. The situation with wrestlers essentially getting to choose AEW or WWE has changed in the past, I would say, year and a half, 2 years max, right? Where because Vince McMahon is gone and the company WWE has been sold, merged, created into TKO, there's new leadership and new people in charge and new priorities and new decisions getting made. So more people, it would seem, are happy with their role, with their creative direction. So it's not the same situation it was when AEW first started, where so many people were unhappy in WWE that they were dying to go to AEW to get a chance to just be the character that they want to be. More people are getting utilized better now in WWE, I would say, right?
Yes.
So a lot of the main eventers at this stage, especially with WWE also, offering some pretty high contracts, people seem less likely to want to go to AEW. Also, the winds have kind of shifted as far as what's the better place to be at this point, WWE or AEW, right? Seems to be WWE is the much bigger,
it's pretty crazy.
platform and it's like better thought of now than it was a few years ago, right? As opposed to AEW, where AEW is kind of on the downswing as far as sentiment goes. And also there's the rumors that come out that say people are unhappy in AEW, right? Because of the chaotic booking or whatever.
Sure.
Or chaotic just atmosphere. So, but there are still guys and girls in WWE that are not getting utilized or that are not getting prioritized. And it just so happens that Ricochet is one of the best in the world. So, he can kind of choose what he wants to do, and he would be accepted pretty much anywhere. So if he's not getting utilized in WWE, well, he can do other stuff,
Yeah, and if I'm Ricochet myself, I'm thinking to myself, I see all these guys that Triple H is pushing, right? And those are his. I mean, not just Triple H, but some of these guys were underutilized, like Bronson Reed and your Chad Gables and all these guys. They are getting a little bit more shine because Triple H, but not Ricochet. So if I'm him, I'm like, you know what? I can go somewhere else. Do you want to wait around that long when your contract's up? You're gonna have to probably sign. I think they make them sign 3 or 5 year deals, right? Minimum. There's no it's not like the NBA where you could do a year salary and then do it next year. So I don't blame him. And you got Ospreay, you got Bryan Danielson, you got Okada over in AEW. Maybe you just want to go and put on some stellar 5-star matches every night,
Yeah, and AEW, while they do have a very crowded roster, and there are the complaints that come out that people aren't getting enough TV time because there's so many talented wrestlers there now that you can't really, get everyone on Dynamite. But there is still room for a guy like Ricochet who can just go in there and have, like you just said, 5-star matches with half the roster. And I tweeted out the other day from our @W Wrestling Pod. I keep calling it tweeted. I mean, there's no other word for it.
Yes, sorry.
The act of typing something that I shouldn't have and hitting send. No. I posted some dream matches for Ricochet in AEW. And I'm not looking at the post, actually, but it's Kenny Omega, Swerve, Vikingo. Come on. Ricochet versus Vikingo. Done.
Yeah, right.
It's over after that.
That's dynamite. Yeah, that's good. I like it.
Will Ospreay, Ricochet versus your cat.
Stupid fucking cat.
Fucking
Hold on. Idiot.
yeah. Can't believe you didn't throw that cat outside already.
All right. If he makes another noise, I'm throwing him outside.
Who else could Ricochet have a dream match? I put Dante Martin as somebody. Dream match potential with Ricochet. And then I even put, because if Ricochet's going to AEW, he could still also show up at indie shows. So I put out some names like Alec Price, TJ Crawford, Leo Rush.
Oh, yeah.
That would be, dream matches for Ricochet. Just to have right now.
Yeah. I think when you mentioned that list, I think one of the things about Ricochet is AEW's the best when they have a long build. Hold on, let me get this cat 1 second.
Uh-oh. He's going to powerbomb his cat through a car windshield like Braun Breaker did to Ricochet.
Quiet.
Oh, no. I put Ichiban, Jordan Oliver, TJ Crawford, and I put Amazing Red as a dream match for Ricochet. So, Ospreay, Omega, Pac, Vikingo, Dante, Nick Wayne. Ricochet versus Nick Wayne in AEW. There's a lot of potential.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying, what I was going to say, Stu, is I think that Ricochet is a guy who can be in a main event of a non-big AEW pay-per-view, Like, it could be like, if Swerve needs an opponent, but you don't need like a huge build, it's like, oh, there's Ricochet. It'll be a great match. And then Swerve can keep building to like the bigger feud for like Double or Nothing or whatever. He's a good guy to fill in and have big high profile matches without having to do some sort of great build.
So we saw him go through the car windshield. We saw him go out in an ambulance. What do we think of Ricochet's time in WWE? I thought it was always so obvious that everybody knew he was one of the best. He was kind of presented as, like with his theme music and everything, as this sort of special attraction at first, when Triple H when he first came in, and had a lot of great matches, had a lot of great moments. Was it the Royal Rumble that he had that with Logan Paul, where they just kind of jumped into each other?
Yep.
I mean, that's obviously not like the best thing Ricochet's ever done. He had those great NXT moments, like in the War Games match where he did like 27 flips.
Yeah, I mean, he was just a guy who came a little too early, Like, if he was here now, Triple H could use him like he wants, but I think he was a little small. He's not the greatest talker, so Vince really just didn't like him. He should have had a longer run as the Intercontinental Champion. That was where he should have been, and he could have made that title feel awesome. He could have been like the guy who's like the spectacular guy with the title, and that's where we kind of like lost, because I think Vince doesn't like him because he's small.
Well, Ricochet versus Nick Wayne, book it.
I'll tune into Collision for that.
So we'll see Ricochet. My guess is in AEW. Without knowing anything specific, I would guess if he's so confident in leaving WWE, that would be my guess.
Yeah. We don't have to talk about this a lot, and you just say no, but you don't think this is like a work, right? It's like too reported on, feels too real.
No, I don't think so. I mean, that would be pretty in depth.
Yeah. It makes sense. Like everything we talked about, that he would go somewhere and try to shine. Yeah. All right.
All right, should we do a Liv and Dom update before we move on with the show? Folks, we have got to get an update on what's going on with Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio over here. I mean, this started off as just people going in and out of locker rooms in the background of WWE backstage interviews. We see Liv Morgan coming out of a room. We see Dom coming out of a room. And then now Liv Morgan is coming out, interrupting Dom. She helped, Dom helped her basically win the Women's World Championship. Now she's chasing after him, giving him her hotel room key. Whoa. Rey Mysterio, man. Are you aware of what your son is doing over here, Rey Mysterio? This guy is, he's got poor Rhea Ripley. She's off the road, injured.
Ooh, yeah.
Mommy is at home, and now Liv is swooping right in.
Honestly, what a great everything they're both doing very good in this. God bless Dom Mysterio for actually being a good worker after all these years. But they're doing a good job of making Rhea Ripley actually relevant and matter still without her have to be on TV. Like, everyone knows she's gonna be so pissed when she comes back. It breaks itself. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, she's definitely, obviously, she was the champion when she left, so she had to forfeit the title. And now, rather than just that being the only thing that gets her, let's say, a title shot when she comes back, now there's this Liv Morgan thing, and you see the photos online where they're going to have a ladder match for custody of Dominic.
Oh, man. That's great.
Who should get custody of Dirty Dom? Should it be Liv or Rhea?
I would love it. They'll never do that, but that'd make me so happy if they did that.
So we got the hotel room key this week on Raw. Things are spicing up on Raw. This show is getting hot and heavy. What is this, X-Men 97? All of a sudden there's romantic things happening on WWE.
Great. Nice reference.
People are climbing all over each other here. So we'll see what happens next with Dom and Liv Morgan. I don't know how much more Rhea Ripley needs to see before she decides to show back up.
I know. I mean,
maybe a few more weeks worth. I don't know how quickly she could get back on TV, right? Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking. If it's, oh man, but whenever she comes back, it's gonna be amazing. They're gonna, man. Ooh, she almost. Hopefully, it's long because I think she almost has to win. No, she doesn't have to win because Dom can actually do the whole thing where he's like, "No, it's you, mommy," and then he turns. That's great. It's just gonna be great.
So I just wanted to pause the show to talk about Liv and Dom for a sec, but we're gonna keep going. We're gonna talk about Forbidden Door. Some matchups have been announced for Forbidden Door, which this year is going down at the UBS Arena on Long Island. So, I think that this Swerve versus Will Ospreay match, it's going to be a great match. I'm very excited to see what we get. I think that this is definitely going to be the first of a series of matches between Will Ospreay and Swerve.
I hope so.
Can't imagine that they would want to put Will Ospreay in a match with Swerve and then immediately move to somebody else,
I would hope not, yeah, because it's almost, oh man, all these matches that Will Ospreay is having, I'm like, he should win these matches and win all these belts, but I also don't not want to see them,
Well, he's the international champion now, so.
That's true.
But yeah, so we're getting Swerve versus Will Ospreay. We've also got this ladder match for the TNT Championship. We're going to have Takeshita, Mark Briscoe, Lee Moriarty, or Dante Martin versus, Dustin Rhodes or Jack Perry, because Dustin Rhodes is calling out Jack Perry. This reminded me of an episode of WCW Saturday Night. Dustin Rhodes has a match, wins, just gets on the mic for 3 or 4 minutes talking about Jungle Boy, Jack Perry. who's not there at all. Doesn't come out. Is not part of the segment. It's just Dustin Rhodes in the ring, out of breath, talking about Jack Perry. We're going to wrestle on Wednesday on Dynamite. He doesn't like Jack Perry.
It's old school, brother. All right.
Yeah, it was good. I was watching it, and I'm like, am I watching WCW Saturday night?
I know he's talking about how Jack Perry has like the silver spoon and everything, and I understand that Dustin had a tough time growing up, but I mean, you're Dusty Rhodes' son, okay? Take it easy.
Well, Jack Perry doesn't know about hard times, is what he was trying to tell him. When you can't pay your wages.
I'm sure you have those problems too, Dustin. I guess I don't know. I like it though. I'm glad Dustin's involved. He's still a pretty good talker. He's a great wrestler for being that old. I mean, God bless him. He's pretty good. So I'm glad he's doing stuff.
Yeah, he's probably like, how old is he?
I want to say he's like in his 50s. Is he like 52 or older than that?
Isn't Edge 50?
Yeah, so he has. Oh man, let's.
He's okay. So Dustin's 55. Probably the best 55-year-old wrestler. Right? Like
since like Terry Funk. Yeah.
Since Nick Bockwinkel. Yeah, since Terry Funk. But I mean, in the ring wise, Dustin can do a lot.
Incredible, yeah.
But anyways, we don't even know if he's going to be at Forbidden Door because he has to beat Jack Perry. And spoiler, I don't think he's gonna.
I don't think so either. And I also think, spoiler, Jack Perry is going to be the TNT champion. Let's go.
Yeah, I was just gonna say yeah. So then they would just put the belt on Jungle Boy.
Makes sense.
But we're also getting other participants at Forbidden Door, the ladder match. I mean, it would be nice if they put somebody from New Japan in this ladder match. I mean, yes, you're probably not going to put one of the titles on a New Japan wrestler who wouldn't come back reasonably, anytime soon to wrestle on Dynamite every week or whatever, or Collision. But being in the match, you could put some New Japan people.
Would make sense for the Forbidden Door, yeah.
So then we're going to have, speaking of the Forbidden Door, Mercedes Moné defending the AEW TBS Championship against Stephanie Vacker and the New Japan Strong Women's Championship also on the line. So title for title, New Japan Strong Women's Championship, TBS title. I would say Mercedes is going to win that New Japan Strong Women's Championship.
I think so. But that should be a pretty good match too. I love these Forbidden Door cards because the matches don't always look great. Even if they don't, they always deliver. So this is one of my favorite pay-per-views.
Timeless Toni Storm against Mina Shirakawa. Apparently, Mariah May is going to be in both of their corners. This is one of my favorite stories in AEW right now. People who say AEW doesn't, there's no storytelling. There is right here. You've got Mina Shirakawa coming into AEW. Former partner of Mariah May. Mariah May now a follower, obsessive of Timeless Toni Storm, an understudy of Toni Storm. And are you guys noticing with Mariah May as she's dressing up like Toni Storm, and then when she goes to wrestle Saraya, she dresses up as Toni Storm in her Outcasts gear when she was in the Outcasts with Saraya. So pretty soon we're going to see Timeless Mariah May, and then she's going to be coming for Toni Storm, and then I think she will eventually beat Toni Storm because Mariah May is incredible.
Yes, and I agree. And you're right. That's a great story, and they're telling that story. So I'm looking forward to it too.
But yeah, so she's on both sides of this. Timeless Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa. So yeah, I'm actually interested in this, is what I'm trying to say. Zack Sabre Jr. This is like who's coming through the Forbidden Door so far. This is the only person. Zack Sabre Jr. It's like, do we really need a Forbidden Door just to get Zack Sabre Jr.?
Some would say we do.
Versus Orange Cassidy. Looking forward to it. It's going to be a great match.
Yeah, like I said, absolutely.
Oh, wait, what's this? the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship getting defended, and it's not Jungle Boy against who did Jungle Boy face?
Oh my goodness. Sonata?
Yeah, Sonata. So the current champion, Jon Moxley, will be defending against Tetsuya Naito, folks, at Forbidden Door. This is going to be great. I don't know why this wouldn't be the main event. I know the AEW World Championship is important, but guys, this should at least be the co-main event. No, it'll probably be like first or second match on the show.
Yeah, right.
But no, I think that Naito is going to beat Moxley at Forbidden Door, and I think it's going to be great. And then Jeff Cobb, apparently, according to Wikipedia, is on this card defending the NJPW World Television Championship.
That's good. I like Jeff Cobb, and I think it's good. I hope Naito does win because we need some of the New Japan guys to win big matches and belts at these pay-per-views sometimes.
Yeah. Moxley just goes into Forbidden Door, wins the belt, defends it.
Fucking Hulk Moxley.
Hey, at least it's better than just having a title eliminator match for the IWGP World Championship against the champion and then just losing it.
That's true. Good point.
So we'll see what else they add to Forbidden Door. I'm sure there will be more. Wasn't there talk of how there was going to be some CMLL guys, and that also now they worked it out, thanks to Rocky Romero, that
I thought so, yeah.
the AAA guys can also wrestle on the same card as CMLL guys, which they were forbidden from doing in the past?
I think so. That'd be nice. That'd be a great addition.
That's the real Forbidden Door to open. It's letting
Thanks, Rock.
Ray Phoenix wrestle.
Yeah, right, that's it. All thanks to Rocky Romero. Thank you.
Yes. All right, so what else is going on here? You want to talk about this NXT Battleground show that went down at the UFC Apex recently? So, folks, we are watching NXT again. It's official. We're back.
Yeah.
It's been a while. It's been a few years since we watched NXT on a weekly basis, but here we are. I watched the Battleground show. It took place in this tiny, it was like it looked like a lobby of a Burger King painted black. Maybe.
Oh, spot on. Oh my God, yes.
No, it just looked small, and it only looked small from certain angles. I will say that the Apex, and they did cram people in there to try to make it look bigger, and it really is not the biggest venue. But they have fights there. They started doing it during the pandemic. Nobody likes it. I mean, it looked okay. It didn't look that much smaller than the Capitol Wrestling Center. Are they still calling it that?
Full Sail?
The Vince McMahon Senior Memorial Auditorium.
Capitol Wrestling Center. Yeah, exactly.
So, but yeah, so this Lola Vice and Shayna Baszler match, we got to talk about this. So NXT Underground, folks, I feel like I've seen Shayna Baszler in this type of environment pretty recently, even. Could it have been Bloodsport against Masha Slamovich? Maybe. I don't know.
Seems about right.
But yeah, so NXT Underground, taking the wrestling concept perfected by Shane McMahon back on Raw Underground.
One of the elite shoot fighters, Shane McMahon.
Shoot bookers.
That's right.
Because he would just book all the shooters who were just ravenously hanging out in this room. And it was like, who wants to fight? You, okay, you, yeah, how about you? Okay, you, okay. It's like the movie Roadhouse. Just fighting. But yes, in NXT, they are perfecting the genre of the fake real fight. Not like Bloodsport, though. So we had Lola Vice taking on Shayna Baszler, and this was hilarious and great. I mean, this so there, you can't pin anyone in NXT Underground matches. You can only win by knockout, TKO, or submission. I mean, are there rounds here? Can this thing go on forever? Is this just an endless fight? There's no time limit?
That was weird, yeah.
Is the time limit when the cops show up?
It is underground, so it could be, yes. Maybe when the oxygen gets out of the underground area, you gotta stop.
When the people that we rented this Airbnb from come home? Is that how long the match is? But yeah, no, this was great. And so, to be honest, when you try to make a wrestling match look like basically an MMA fight, MMA fights are a lot shorter and can be anticlimactic, or they can just have no substance and then climax, meaning like it's just kind of boring and then bam, a knockout. Sometimes it's not guaranteed. It's not like crafted like a wrestling match to build and entertain you, right? It's just a fight between two people until one of them gives up or gets knocked out, or the Airbnb people come home. So we're getting all kinds of maneuvers here from Shayna Baszler. Sinking in the hooks, got a rear naked choke going. She had like an armbar off the side of the ring. Lola Vice is hitting her with these hammer fists, and then hits her with a spinning back fist. Shayna Baszler goes tumbling out of the ring onto the security, I guess, that was there, using some pro wrestling strategy and falling onto people to break your fall.
Good move.
Taking a little pro wrestling know-how into the underground. Always land on at least 7 people.
Something's got to break your fall.
But yeah, no. Shayna Baszler's been knocked clean out at least 3 times in this match, and they're just letting it keep going. She's getting dropped with a hammer fist. Boom. Outside the ring, she falls, hits her head. She got head first into the corner post. Man. Hello. Yeah, so there was a fake MMA referee, that dude from NXT. Referee, I forget his name.
He's fired.
Yeah, he wasn't really stepping in. He was like Mario Yamasaki in this. He was trying to let these women have a Warriors ending.
There it is.
There was one fight where Mario Yamasaki let it go on way too long, and the guy is like getting bludgeoned, and he's like, "No, I wanted him to be able to go out like a warrior."
Oh God.
Like what? Go out of existence?
Out of life, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not an advocate for going out like a warrior, but Shayna Baszler almost did. I mean, Lola Vice is, like I said, dropped her 3 times. Like it was like a Frankie Edgar fight. Shayna Baszler's getting dropped.
Oh man.
I mean, it would have been so chaotic. If it's like Shayna Baszler knocked out twice in this fight, comes back, wins by submission. It's like she's been knocked out twice, and she's gonna have a win on her record here in NXT Underground. But no, Lola Vice did actually win, which was great.
Good for Shayna Baszler for just like allowing that to happen. I know Lola Vice has some like actual like fight background. I think it's Taekwondo, but I feel like Shayna Baszler could probably a good sport though. I'm glad she's into the wrestling. She's like, I can lose, I don't care, even if it's this kind of match.
Well, yeah, I mean, she has to lose to someone. I mean, even if all she did was win, which she really was one of the best NXT women's champions of all time. And
yes.
Even if all she does is win, no matter what, well, then you're really building up just to, eventually you got to let somebody else beat you. That's how it all kind of transfers. So now that she has lost, now she can go and wreck somebody in NXT Underground.
Good point. Yeah, that's true. Looking forward to it.
But I just thought there was just some hilarious moments in this fight. And that's why I like this NXT Underground and Bloodsport. It's because people are just getting dropped, and it's hilarious sometimes. The mix of pro wrestling when they try to make it look like the way real fights unfold is hilarious.
Yes.
All right. All right, so we got to talk about Uncle Howdy. We've been skipping over Uncle Howdy, and I don't know if he likes that. I mean, he's going to start getting impatient with us.
Oh, we don't want that. We don't want to meet anyone. No impatience. I'm sorry.
So lately, Uncle Howdy has still been communicating with us via QR codes on screen. and websites and messages. So, I mean, there was the whole stream a few weeks ago where he's writing the notes. So now we've established he's written these notes to people with messages about their recent past and told them on the front of the note to remember who they are. And he's dropped these notes off with people at their doorstep. He went in one of the houses. There was a creepy bride. Was she a bride? I don't know. A veiled woman pointing at something. Then we see some gapped teeth. Right? A la most likely a Bo Dallas smile. Then we had a website that was built. This like Angel Fire old school website where the first like 5 or 6 posts were written in the style of Bray Wyatt as if he was writing them, going through things. And then there was one post that presumably referenced the death of John Huber, Mr. Brody Lee, Luke Harper. And then the post changed in tone to where now it seems like Uncle Howdy is writing the posts, talking about having to wear your own face as a mask. And then talking about how, they'll be coming soon. And I think everybody thought that they were going to debut this crew at the King and Queen of the Ring, and then they changed their plan, so they had to calm people down via these Easter eggs. So they had to give people calming Easter eggs and say, like, Uncle Howdy then got pissed off because he was saying that us, the viewers, were getting impatient, questioning his timing. How dare you question his timing, their timing? How dare we do that? Which we didn't do that, but
we would never.
Nope, not us. And then Uncle Howdy says he sees us and he knows we're out here and he knows we're watching, and it's basically saying that they appreciate that we're following along with the QR codes. Damn QR codes keep popping up. It's like, hey, Michael Cole, are you ever going to scan one of these? Go home on your DVR. What's your day off? Aren't you curious what these are?
That's a good point, yeah.
You think Uncle Michael Cole would have some Uncle Howdy knowledge to drop? Aren't you in charge of this thing? It's production.
Maybe he just doesn't want to get involved. He's scared.
He's scared to scan the QR code.
Yeah.
And Pat McAfee just doesn't know how to do it, so
he's like, what's that, Cole?
He's got to hire somebody on his team.
Yeah.
Scan QR codes for him.
Oh, God, he probably does.
So Uncle Howdy is telling us they're still coming. They appreciate our patience. Soon they'll be revealed to the world. And yeah, I'm kind of, I'm not bored with this Uncle Howdy thing at all, but I think I've had my fill of these personal messages. I think I appreciate the messages. Thank you, Uncle Howdy, for the messages. It's like posting on somebody's Facebook. Thanks for all the birthday wishes. But
yeah,
I think we need to go back to kidnapping people again here. We need to go back to being creepy and stalking and people going missing.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. It's funny because the way that you were talking about it like 2 weeks ago, I could see like the fear in your voice. I could hear it in your voice. And now you're just like, all right, come on. Yeah. Kidnap some people, please.
Yeah, it's like, cool. So what happened to the psychiatrist that went missing? I don't think she showed back up.
Yeah, is anyone following up on that missing person? Or
yeah, we know we've got some evidence here that should be maybe given to the appropriate people. I mean, we know who did it. It was Uncle Howdy. He took a picture of it. There's a QR code on Raw that Michael Cole is ignoring.
That's pretty funny, yeah. How are we going to find out who kidnapped this person? Oh, there's QR codes on wrestling? Oh, okay, we got them.
Yeah, if there's a missing person and there's QR codes on a wrestling show that lead to, photo sets that will give you a date and time to go and watch a Twitch stream where we had footage of the last known footage, essentially, of this person. It's on a Twitch, on WWE's Twitch channel of all things. They didn't even make like a second Twitch channel.
Unbelievable.
So I thought that takeover of the Twitch channel with the hands was especially creepy because I was watching it and I'm watching it on my TV in my living room and my wife is like, what are we doing here? What is this? And I'm like, the hand is moving. And there wasn't hands for a few minutes. it was just paper and a Sharpie. And then it's like, boom, hands. It's like, oh, it was very creepy, you know?
It sounds great. Yeah, I mean, very effective. But now, let's move on. Let's get some more stuff. Next chapter.
Yeah, so the notes that were written, presumably, we know now we're going to get Nikki Cross, Dexter Lumis, Joe Gacy. Who else? Nikki Cross, Dexter Lumis, Joe Gacy.
Eric Rowan.
Eric Rowan, he's one of them. So now these people have been all kind of... Uncle Howdy has brought them into the fold, and we're going to meet them soon. Perhaps at Clash at the Castle. Perhaps just at Raw, maybe after.
Yeah, it seems like they're not going to travel across the sea.
I didn't actually... I saw the QR code come up last night on Raw during Rey Mysterio's entrance. But I didn't actually... Oh, there's an arrival date now, apparently, by the latest QR code.
Oh, yeah.
Firefly Funhouse puppets were involved in the QR codes. Clash at the Castle. Is that the date?
Maybe.
It said, oh, and on screen it said, on Raw, it said, your patience will be rewarded.
I'll be the judge of that, bud.
Then
Okay.
it said, your impatience will be punished. Ugh. Which
All
one?
right.
Which one am I? I don't know. Was I patient or impatient?
Oh, man. You're teetering on impatience now, so just I would keep your mouth shut.
Yeah, I shouldn't go any farther. Whenever you're ready, Uncle Howdy, take your time.
Yeah, right.
Take your time. Hey, the story never ends, right? Boom, boom, story never ends. Hey. Don't worry about finishing that story, Uncle Howdy. We've got years.
Yeah, just keep on going.
But yeah, I'm very interested when these folks debut, how they debut. I feel like they should really try to make an impact here. Which, at this point, I'm wondering, why haven't we kidnapped some known talent on the roster here? Why haven't we seen someone go missing, you know?
Yeah. Maybe that's going to happen when they get a little closer to debuting, but I don't know. Seems like that should be now, so.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, even on Raw last night, there was this shot of Kathy Kelly, and in the background we have Chad Gable and Ivy Nile, which is like, okay, who cares? And then it's like, don't worry about why Chad Gable's chatting with Ivy Nile after being seen also chatting with the Creed brothers. You know?
Yeah.
Don't worry about that. That level of Easter eggs. Behind them, there's even another creepy guy. So there's just like this weird hooded creepy figure in the way, way back corner of this backstage area in the building. And I don't know, it could have just been somebody blurry. Like, you don't even know anymore. What's Uncle Howdy? He's everywhere. Just a creep. Anytime you see a creepy person, it's just WWE doing an Easter egg. So if you're ever walking alone at night and you're kind of creeped out and there's like a weirdo following you and there's no one else around, it's just WWE pulling a prank on you. It's an Uncle Howdy Easter egg.
Don't be upset.
Just take a picture of him and tweet it.
Tweet it, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, go back to kidnapping people. That's my sentiment. I'm not impatient, only with the kidnappings. I'm impatient. I need more kidnappings.
I need more kidnappings, yeah.
Maybe somebody I've heard of. Yeah, and then it's like, I go missing.
You asked for it, yeah.
Local man goes missing.
I'm just shocked. Like, oh no, what am I going to do?
But yeah. So hopefully coming up soon, Clash at the Castle, Uncle Howdy at the Castle. I like that it's called Clash at the Castle because the first one was near a castle, but this one isn't, right?
I don't think so, yeah.
This Clash at the Castle? It's just happening in Glasgow. Glasgow.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Ooh, Glasgow. You ever been to Glasgow?
No, unfortunately.
Glasgow. So how do people say it that's wrong? Like if you say Glasgow. That's wrong.
I think the end is fine, but I think it's glass, not glass.
Okay, so yeah, it's glass. So it's Glasgow. Oh, but they want you to say it like Glasgow. Oh
yeah, you got to shorten that? Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry, Scotland.
Well,
I'm from America.
I'll take it. I would love to go to Glasgow.
I hear Scotland's beautiful.
Looks like a great place. So yes, speaking of Glasgow, we have the son of Glasgow, Drew McIntyre. What was his original nickname? Not the Prodigy. What was it?
Oh my goodness. No, not the prophecy.
The prodigal? I don't know. Was he the prototype?
Yes, the prototype. Yep.
The prototype.
Drew Cena. That's him.
Drew McIntyre. So, it's almost become a meme at this point of Drew McIntyre getting his big moment, like as if he is one of these few people who's owed a big moment because of the whole COVID WrestleMania in the Performance Center where he did, I think he beat Brock Lesnar, right? And became the champion. It's supposed to be this big WrestleMania moment. He, left WWE, got super jacked, came back, new character, black hair dye, and now he's the world champion. But you missed your big moment because it was in the Performance Center. And then, he had the WrestleMania moment this past year. He had a moment, but that was all he got because then Damian Priest came out and CM Punk attacked him, and then he lost the championship that he had just won. So he had his big WrestleMania moment in front of a crowd. And now we have Clash at the Castle going down in Glasgow. And this is the moment, right? This is like Drew McIntyre finishing the story.
Honestly, it should be. It makes the most sense. It'll be a huge moment. But like we were talking about before we recorded, it seems like the Priest title reign has been too short for that. And I feel like Priest hasn't really done much. Just a couple of defenses. So I don't know. It seems too quick, but also this is the perfect spot for McIntyre to win.
I think so as well. I think there's a lot, that World Championship, there's a lot you can do with it right now. So I don't want to call it a no-brainer to have Drew win because there is some advantage of having Drew not win because how would you do that, right? You have to involve a one Philip Seymour Punk in this mix.
Yes.
Right?
That would be a huge moment in their like feud for him to go to McIntyre's homeland and screw him out of the title. Whoa.
Well, first of all, this feud between these two has just been great, I feel like. Punk and Drew McIntyre. You got Drew McIntyre just trying so hard to meme Lord Punk.
Yes.
And doing it. He did the thing where they went to the WWE headquarters, and I don't know if it was just on the photo that he did it or actually in the building, but he put like CM Punk's crying face on the big giant screen, and there's just so much that Drew McIntyre has done where he's really done a lot of leg work, both on the leg press and on the internet.
Yes, it's just, for me, it's like McIntyre wins this belt, right? If he wins, that means when Punk gets back to wrestling, which I don't know, maybe it's far enough along, but it seems like when Punk's back, is Punk really going to lose a world title feud to Drew McIntyre? I don't know about that. So it seems like we're going to hot shot this belt a couple times.
Yeah, it's possible. So you have to figure, let's say the way the pieces are laid out on the board, we have House McIntyre winning at Clash at the Castle, right?
Yeah.
CM Punk is either going to be in Scotland, in Glasgow, or he's going to be in Chicago. One or the other. No other cities.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Glasgow or Chicago. But yeah, so Punk, basically what I'm saying is Punk could have some involvement here. He could obviously try to ruin everything for Drew McIntyre. And I think just in general, Punk showing his face. If this main event happens, and then all of a sudden Punk shows up, this is going to be the biggest reaction. It's like, no, get the F out of here. Get this guy out of here. And then depending on what he does, right, how he gets involved, he could actually cost Drew McIntyre the match, right, which would be, I would say at that point he would be in danger if he did that.
Yes.
You know?
You make a good point, because as long as he shows up to like annoy him, even if McIntyre wins, that'll be enough to like just add another charge to the feud. So that's a good point.
Yeah, like he comes out, he tries, maybe, you know, McIntyre still wins, and then you get this shot of McIntyre holding up the belt, maybe a big ass sword. That would be cool.
Yeah.
At the castle.
Near the castle.
Near
somewhere. Yeah, somewhere there's a castle.
Clash in proximity to the castle.
There it is.
And then yeah, because so Punk comes back. I mean, SummerSlam seems probably too early, right? Unless they wanna hot shot that arm back. It's his arm, right? That's injured.
Yeah, I think it was a tricep.
Yeah. If they want to hot shot that tricep, he can come back. No, I don't know what his status is, but you got to figure they didn't stop that feud when he got injured, right? They're still going at it. So, and they've done such a great job with Punk costing him the thing at WrestleMania and just the whole thing. It's like these guys cannot stop hating each other, and it's almost like you want to tell them, like, guys, just enough. Like, you know, move on. You're injured. You're like, stop fighting. Stop arguing all the time. You know, that's how much they like bicker and go back and forth. It's like endless. It's like they wake up in the morning and they only think about like each other.
That's how it seems. Yes.
So I would say that we're going to go towards a McIntyre versus Punk match, and you're saying that you would think Punk would win that one.
I mean, I hope. I have no like wrestling backup for that. Honestly, it's just I feel like we've talked about CM Punk and we've known him for a long time. But like not really, but we've seen his antics, and I don't think he will lose a high-profile feud to Drew McIntyre.
Yeah,
Politics, bro.
I'm wondering how much, just because of his situation coming over from AEW and having all that endless drama for years on end, I'm wondering how much he, like, I'm sure he's got his ways of doing it. Everybody does. And you kind of notice that as you listen to people talk, and they kind of, like the way The Rock tries to say things happened a certain way to explain it in his, preferred way, and the way other people do as well. I'm sure Punk still does that, but I'm wondering how much he actually, petitions for certain things. Like, how many ideas has he been presented with an idea and he's like, the old that doesn't work for me, right? Like, I really don't want to do that, Good
point. I'm not. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't talk about Punk like that. Who knows? Maybe he's a great guy and I'm just wrong.
No, I'm just think that he probably it might want to be over the drama.
Yeah.
To be more of a team player. But they've had to have come to him with something that he said, like, when you make it seem like, well, let's steer the car this way instead. And, instead of just saying, like, no, I'm not doing that.
I wonder, that's a good point. And I mean, if he was a real, like, worker I'm thinking of, you got to give them one. So maybe you do lose the feud to McIntyre, and then you're like, I'm not doing shit again. It's all about me.
Well,
Classic Hogan move.
I think Punk winning the belt for McIntyre also makes sense. It's just a matter of basically when do you do it.
Yeah, and you can kind of play that out. Yeah, you're right. It could go on. So
WrestleMania is kind of still far away from now. Everybody kind of plans everything where it's like nothing can happen until WrestleMania. Because let's face it, you can do a world title or a WWE Championship big time title change at the Royal Rumble. It's possible, but usually that's the start of the whole WrestleMania build. So what do you...
Yeah.
So who knows?
I'm excited about it, though. I do think that it's interesting. At least it's interesting, and I do think he'll be there at the Clash in proximity to the castle. Whether he costs McIntyre the match or not, it'll still be a great heat segment, so I'm looking forward to that.
I really hope he gets out of there okay. He's going to be like Colby Covington in Brazil at a UFC trying to get out of there. They're going to be throwing stuff at him. So, yes, will Drew McIntyre make some broken dreams come true at Clash at the Castle? I say yes. I think Drew wins the belt. Now, do I think Alan Jones is going to win at Clash at the Castle? No.
No, that's a good bet.
Any other good matches on Clash at the Castle? You know, folks, we just found out last week that Chad Gable is getting a shot at the Intercontinental Championship at Clash at the Castle.
Oh, man. So it's going to be a good match, and it's probably... Don't you think that's the time where Otis turns on Gable finally, and Gable still doesn't win the title?
Man, Otis. You know, for a guy who is kind of a background character, he's had a lot of stuff taken from him, right? That we learned about this week on Raw when he said that he lost, he lost Tucky, he lost Mandy, and he lost Money in the Bank. It's like, dang, you kind of did have a lot going for you.
I know.
But then he's saying Chad Gable helped him. So maybe.
I don't know. It's a great story though. Otis is such a good, like, sympathetic character. He always has been. And Gable is so good at being this, like, asshole. It's amazing. Yeah,
like I said, I mean, he seems like an asshole coach. I'm not accusing him of being that type of a leader, a coach, right? Yeah. He plays a really good one. That's all I'll say is, he just wears the role perfectly of douchebag coach.
Yes, he does.
Who is leaving people scarred for life because he's grumpy that day.
Wouldn't it be great if we just find out down the line that he's just this angry and mad because he had to be Shorty G for like 3 months?
Oh, that would actually be a perfect motivation. Yeah. Like when he's whipping somebody against the ropes. You're going to get your discipline. I was Shorty G.
Yeah, right.
Terrible. Yeah, so no, I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, it's weird because you have this crew that's like getting ready to mutiny against Chad Gable, especially Otis. Sami Zayn is obviously trying to motivate them. But are they going to... So then you turn on Chad Gable, so then he doesn't win. Okay, so you just turned on the bad guy and cost him the match. Cool.
Yeah, I know. It seems like...
Because what would Chad Gable be about to win on his own, and then Otis stops him? Like, yeah, congratulations. You just stopped that honest, hardworking effort that was about to give this man victory in this competition. Congratulations, you just stopped that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because he's a dick.
It seems more likely that Chad Gable will win, and then it'll be Chad Gable versus Otis down the line, right? That seems like more sense. I don't know. At least, again, it's a good story, though. It's better than just throwing two people together because they're like need some matches at a pay-per-view, so that's good.
Bayley and Piper Niven? Piper Niven? Are you kidding? I know what she's capable of. Apparently Bayley didn't though.
I mean that's going to be like a sneaky great match.
Yeah, I hope that I hope it is. Got Bianca and Jade Cargill against Alba Fire and Kaylee Ray, Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I think we know what's going to happen.
Bianca and Jade.
Yeah. Actually, but I mean, all those matches sound pretty good. Like, it's actually going to be a pretty good show. I'm actually kind of looking forward to it.
We also have Logan Paul denying people of title matches. I don't know what's going on with that with LA Knight.
Ugh.
He said LA Knight should go back to the mid card. It's like that's where he is. Where do you think you are right now, Mr. Paul?
Yeah, good.
You're the United States champion. No offense.
It's literally the mid card title
to that great championship. I mean, there's been a lot of great United States championships over the years.
That long lineage of great WWE United States champions.
Diamond Dallas Page, Raven.
Oh. Dean Malenko.
Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser. Are you interested in Ludwig Kaiser? Has he won you over yet?
I think he's a good wrestler. I don't know. It's fine.
I think that here's what he's missing. He's missing the sympathy of like getting the crap beat out of him. Like he's Sheamus needs to like if I don't know what this guy like I don't know if they're trying to make Ludwig Kaiser a bad guy. It seems like they're still trying to make him a heel, but he's got to get a beat down where it's like too much, and then he's got to like get up and then everybody claps that he walked it off or something. That's what he needs.
That's good, yeah.
You know? Solo Sikoa. Are we going to see him at Clash at the Castle?
You would think so, right?
I mean, some of these international cards, they don't want him to go as long, so they're not really putting 20 matches, on each card.
Yeah.
5-6 matches and they're done. Fly to another country, fly out. Fly in, fly out.
This isn't that long. This is not like the trip to Saudi Arabia, though. This is just like going coast to coast.
Yeah.
Lengthwise, so.
Yeah, and I wonder how the crowd's going to be, aside from the Drew McIntyre match and the hype for him there. I wonder if they're going to be like the Puerto Rican crowd and the France crowd that was going singing Randy Orton's song and everything.
I think it'll be pretty hyped. It's only this is only the second show, right? And it seems like it's going to be an annual thing. So I think we're still early enough where they're going to be super excited for another couple of years.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the last Clash at the Castle was in Wales, right? It wasn't in Scotland, so.
Oh, yeah, good point. Yeah, true. Obviously. Come on, Kris.
So, yeah, we'll see if Cody holds on to that WWE World Universal Championship against AJ Styles in an I Quit match.
It's pretty clear.
That's where we need some interference. We need Cody. Somebody needs to come out and challenge, attack Cody, not just with a Styles Clash in a blue suit. Somebody, somebody a little bit more, of the people. Maybe the people's champion.
Ah, yes. Someone, couldn't easily get there with a private jet.
Well, actually, as far as Rock Watch goes, I think The Rock got hurt filming his movie. He banged up his elbow. Did you see that?
Oh, he did? Of course he did. Working too hard, man. Method acting.
He hurt his elbow, and his elbow was swollen, and he was drinking his tequila. So.
Whoa. That's The Rock.
So we don't know. I mean, I don't know if that puts the production on hold with his giant mass on his elbow.
Oh, man. Makes me sad because I want to see that movie, but also I need The Rock versus Cody at WrestleMania next year. Come on.
Yeah, we cannot put off this movie. We need the real movie, the real cinema here,
Yeah, come on.
which is The Rock finishing his story against Cody. Well, that about does it for this episode. That's all we got here. Folks, we want Roman. Okay? It's time. It's been long enough.
Yeah,
we want
do.
Roman.
Mm-hmm.
That's the big debut, the big return that the world needs. We're talking about Uncle Howdy showing up. We're talking about CM Punk showing up in Glasgow. We're talking about all these things that could happen. Ricochet in AEW. The Rock coming back. We don't need any of these people. The one man we need to return is the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. So, hashtag we want Roman. That's my thoughts on the current bloodline. We want Roman.
Yeah.
So, like I said, that about does it for this episode of Watch Wrestling with Mike Wellman. Thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for sticking with us till the end of the episode. We appreciate you here. 80 episodes in the book and then some. We are not done, folks. In the world of wrestling, the story never ends, and we will be here to continue to break it down piece by piece. What does this button do?
Fan of sports entertainment, but that was pretty entertaining.
Watch Wrestling with Mike Wellman. Who the fuck